What is up, guys? Now I'm NarendraTheComic, and right now we're going to be just talking about my man, the myth, the legend, Heung-Min, Son Heung-Min, the South Korean king. That's what I'll call him from now on. I mean, he's got the gold, he's got the medal. He's a king. Son is one of my favourite players in the Premier League. He has been for a couple of seasons now. I do think he's been severely underrated for many, many years. And it was only last season when everyone just actually had some common sense. Maybe they got some after so much time being involved in football and they were like, actually, he's pretty good. Then everyone was like, he's underrated. I was like, well, I've been saying this for years. He's just played 100 games in the Premier League now, and he scored 30 goals and assisted over, I think, 13 or 14. Like, he is pretty clinical in front of goal, and he is a chance creator. You know what? If he's doing a goal or assist every other game and he's not a striker, you got a decent working player there. His work ethic is just phenomenal. He works so hard. You can just see he's taken his work ethic that he had in South Korea and just chucked it on the football pitch. The man's always smiling as well. I mean, he is the happiest footballer I have ever seen in my life. Like, whenever you see a picture of him, the guy is smiling. It doesn't matter if it's a video, a photo, a promotional image, it doesn't matter. The guy is just cheek to cheek, like, he is just going. He's like the Joker. I said he was the king and won a medal. He just won a gold medal at the Asian Games. Now, I know this isn't a tournament that's recognized by FIFA. I don't really give a fuck at this point. The guy has earned military exemption, which means he doesn't need to do his compulsory military service in South Korea. Now, obviously, because of the North and South Korea, the crazy thing is most people were completely unaware of this in all facets of the world until this came up. Like, I'm glad that at least more people are aware of the situation in North and South Korea now because of this, because I'm sure most people didn't even know that people had to do compulsory military service, but it is the fact that any guy under the age of like 30, I think, has to do 2 years or 18 months of military service. Thankfully, because he won a medal at these games, he's won the opportunity to not do that, essentially, and can forge forward in his career of football, try and become one of the best players in the world. At Spurs right now, with him, KANE, Ali, Eriksen, and Lucas Moura now. I mean, I think Son is probably more of a penciled-on player than Moura, but those 4 or 5 players, they are very, very well equipped to do some damage on the biggest stage of them all at the Champions League. And with him being at Spurs right now, there are probably only 2 or 3 clubs that are bigger than Spurs that would be a worthwhile trip for him going to. There'd probably be Madrid, Barca, Munich. Like, other than those 3 clubs, Spurs is basically on the level of every other club right now, form-wise, future-wise, the way the club's structured. I think it is the best club for him. I think he could walk into any Premier League club and get into their first team. I think he could get into the Manchester City team. In my opinion, he would replace Sterling in that team because he is a better all-round player. He's much more clinical than Sterling is. He's much more of a chance creator than Sterling is. Sterling is decent. Sterling is good. I'm not going to bash Sterling needlessly, okay? He just needs to be more clinical. That's the only problem with Sterling. But Son already has that. Plus, his long shots are phenomenal. His shot power is mad. It's like his dead ball hitting is crazy. For a player like that, I'm just glad that he's going to be able to pursue his career properly and not have it stifled by military service. I hope that the Northern and Southern Korean peninsula gets sorted out and no warfare comes of it, and that eventually something like this could stop and people can live their lives. But I think that he is sort of a national hero at this point, because I remember I read this thing a couple of weeks ago that said even if South Korea don't win at the Asian Games, there were thousands and thousands of men, young men from the age of like 18 to like 25 being like, I'll do double the military service if he doesn't have to. It's amazing. Like, the grasp and pull he has on the people of South Korea is phenomenal, and they really feel that he is doing them proud outside of Korea and showing Korea in a good light, and that's all he's ever done. So I'm glad he's been able to do what he needed to do. I'm glad for all the other players in the squad, very young players from the age of like 20 to 23, very, very young players, and I hope that because of this win and because they won't have to do this service in the future, that other clubs will look at these 20 plus players and be like, we might give these guys a chance. And I think the reason why we haven't seen as many South Korean players in the Premier League, I mean, in the Bundesliga they do have quite a few, but in Serie A and La Liga is because, well, at the end of the day, they have to do the military service if they don't win exemption. So the sell-on price for these players dropped dramatically because they can't play for you know, 18 months in their prime. They can't train when they're over there either. They'll be in a worse state of fitness. They could get injured, you know, it's possible. And all these things lead to people, especially clubs, being like, no, we don't want to touch them because something could happen, because we will not be able to resell them, because, well, really, we're going to lose out on him in the end. I think there's a slight bias against Asians in football slightly. It's not severe. I don't think it's like, oh no, there are no Indians in football. I don't really care. And I think if he was of non-Asian descent, maybe people would rate him slightly more. I don't know, but hopefully, you know, him pioneering this movement, he's sort of part of like this Korean wave across the world, to be honest, with K-pop, BTS, K-dramas sort of become popular even in the West, and people like Son Heung-Min as well. It's sort of like all these things for Korea coming together to make them a cultural superpower almost. Hey, I'm just saying, if North and South Korea come together as one country, they will legitimately be a superpower of the world. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, maybe I'll make a video on that. I don't know. But yeah, good on you, Sonny. Good job. You just keep smiling and keep scoring those goals. But anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please do like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel down there. If you didn't, then your country will ask you to do military service. But do you know what service they're gonna ask you to do? You're not gonna be going on the front lines. No. That's too good for you. You're gonna be picking up shit on the street. Not like, oh, it's the mess from other people. It's literally the shit. People will start shitting in the street just for you to clean up. And you don't want that. You really don't. That's pretty disgusting. I don't want that for you either. So just subscribe anyway to avoid that. I've been NarendraTheComic. You have been great, and I'll see you next time. Skadoosh.